So,
In progress.
Joanne Jensen, the general manager, I've not met you before.
Okay, I gotta ask the most important question, really, the most important question. Who's sitting to the right of Spencer?
Well, I was going to tell you in a second, but can I call the order first?
Okay.
Okay. See, it's happening already, Joanne.
I know, but
There's no. It's already over. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the Long Range Planning Committee to order at now 6:30. Thanks to somebody. I'd like to welcome our newest employee, Kamiko, who is being trained by Spencer. So we have Sean Chaffee, we've got Mitch Waterman, Ken Vandepolder, April West, Gary Barra is excused, as is Jeff Milner, Elizabeth Hofford is here, and Chad, you're here too. Sorry, last but never least.
And our most esteemed visitor, our general manager.
That was my next one, yes, and we are very thankful to have Joanne here, who has lots of experience in marketing, is going to give us lots of information. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda.
There are extra copies if no one.
I've got extra copies of the agenda, and I also have
This is.
copies of the questions and that I gave you, that I sent out before.
Is there any more?
I just stole it.
No, you can have this whole thing if you want.
Okay, we're there.
Well, here's copies of the agenda here.
Mm.
You need another one?
Actually, just give me a copy of the agenda, please, thank you. I'd like to move to adopt the agenda.
I would second that.
Thank you. Mitch, all in favor? Okay. It is unanimous. Do we have any announcements? Joanne, do you have any announcements for us?
I do not.
And we'll move on. We have the minutes that were in your board packet, so I would move to approve the minutes for the last meeting.
It was back in October, huh?
Yeah. Anybody see anything?
We didn't have a November or a December meeting.
No, I didn't think we had an October one. I thought.
That's the last set of minutes that we had.
October 2nd.
So if you,
I was not there.
it does say you're excused. Elizabeth, do you have a change?
Yeah, well, I have a question. On this list of the 2026 long-range planning meetings, are all of these going to be in person?
Yes.
Okay. I'll fix that.
So, but back to the minutes is, I'll have to abstain because I wasn't here and, can we get, is everybody okay with the minutes? Okay, Elizabeth, the minutes, you are good with the minutes that are as
Oh, yeah, I
presented?
just wanted to be sure I was reading it right.
Okay, so Mitch, are you,
I'm reading them right now, but I was not here, so I don't.
so 3 abstain and 4 approve? Is that what we're gonna do?
Do you want everybody to take a minute to read them?
I'm good with that.
Okay, so you're good, Mitch is good,
If April was okay with them, fine.
April? Okay. Elizabeth, Ken? Okay. All right, so the rest of you are good with the minutes. Continuing business, we don't really have any that I'm aware of.
Well, from the meeting notes, I would like to know, I mean, this was a quarter ago, right? It's October, so here we are, October, November, December, January. And on the continuing business, I'm asking Joanne, have we heard anything on the solar panel proposal from Puget Sound Energy? Or, I mean, any of the items, A, B, C, D, or E, has any new action come in to the association on any of those?
Can I have a copy of the minutes and I'll tell you?
Don't give them to her, she'll be informed.
Yeah, I sent an email to the PSE contact. I haven't heard back. The coffee shop is dead for the moment. Parking stickers, we get a couple continuing registrations. I actually don't see the point of the parking stickers unless every car has them. They tell us nothing. I understand that it's a process, but we have less than 1,000 people who've registered, and we have somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 people that live here. Not all of them drive, but let's say there's only one car per household, which we know is ridiculous. That's 3,000. So we're very low. And the sticker itself doesn't really give us a good way to quickly understand who the car belongs to. And there are many difficulties with identifying cars that don't have a sticker, which I could go into at great length. But the parking sticker program has a good goal of trying to understand what proportion of the traffic comes from outside the association versus inside the association, but right now the approach is proving to be ineffective. We don't have enough coverage to be useful. Leasing land in Area Y, I am not informed about actions that may have been taken. I think that's a reasonable thing to pursue. Do you guys know if an overture was made to a commercial real estate agent?
Someone did contact me.
Yeah,
I think Ray and,
he made a contact with a commercial realtor. And he hadn't heard anything from them. But,
Well, what we
we
should
ought
do
to,
is, put out a proposal and have several of them,
well,
I love what you're suggesting, and I think getting a proposal out so it's a little more formalized instead of someone making a phone call and maybe we'll hear, who knows. But getting a proposal out to a bunch of commercial realtors would be really good.
well, I think part of the thing was we were putting feelers out to see if we could get a assisted living facility into Sun Valley. So we were not necessarily just looking for any renter or any contractor. We were looking for a specific
specific use, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think being that particular would dramatically reduce your chances of getting
Yeah.
them interested. But reaching out to a set of established and successful commercial real estate agents and asking them to propose a plan of action for looking at that, what we could do with that land, that seems like a reasonable endeavor. And then we could elect to go forward or not with any of the propositions. But yeah, that's the update. So I have an action item is to reach out to Ray and ask who he has talked with and what he learned, and then I can, I know several commercial real estate agents, so I can expand that pool and then put together an RFP sort of. It's a little bit different than that, but.
I think we might also reach out to companies that do put up assisted living type of facilities.
Well, I think the commercial realtors would know who they are. But
I don't know. Yeah, so it
we
might.
got 40 acres that the association's been paying on forever since we were purchased in 1970s. We pay taxes on it. If we're never going to develop it, let's have the board make a decision and either say if the decision is continue paying taxes or turn it into common or lease it and build on it and make revenue off of it. Something.
I was looking at to serve an unserved
Yeah,
portion of the population too.
no, we
Yeah.
talked about the,
And I do have a question about one of the other items. You said the coffee shop was, and I hadn't heard anything about that since we haven't had some meetings.
Yeah, so the debrief on that was, the gentleman who was interested, went out and got, a quotation on renovating the facility. It was, between $80,000 and $90,000. And, he wanted Sun Valley to bear the brunt of that expense, wasn't in our best interest to do so. So
Okay,
it dropped.
yeah,
He's still interested in potentially taking over other spaces if they become available, so he's not giving up, but that was the endeavor to convert the old administrative space in the clubhouse did not bear any fruit.
Thanks, Joanne.
So as far as the coffee shop goes, I think that's still something that everybody here on this table wants, right? We think that it's a good idea for the community. The important thing is we gotta look at what the investment is, and the person that comes in has to be successful at running the business. Now, as a general rule, coffee shops are pretty high margin businesses, right? Coffee's a high margin business, and all the pastries and things is as well. So the key is to find the right location and to find the right people that are interested in doing it, right? So, perhaps someone like involved in Woods Coffee, right? If you're going to look at somebody who has already got the expertise, right? Could say, is Sudden Valley based on 3,000 homes and 7,000 residents and so many adults and things like that, is that a viable place for us to have a location? And if it's a viable place, where is the best location in Sudden Valley?
I think one of the problems that we looked at
Sorry, go
was
ahead.
that we couldn't figure out a place to have a drive-through. And we figured someplace like Woods or some of the larger ones, they want the drive-through.
Yeah, so I think that if you got somebody that was already involved in the business to look at Sudden Valley, I think they would have the expertise as to say where the best location is, right? They would say, here's the traffic pattern, here's the best place for us to go. So, to reach out to a company like Woods Coffee, or perhaps a company like, those little trailers that they have in Bellingham, pardon me?
Cruisin' Coffee.
Cruisin' Coffee, like those, some of those people have, I think Cruisin' Coffee is one of the, you said they had like 10 locations or something like
Something
that.
like that.
So-
Yeah, I heard Whitby Coffee might be, I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they have a couple locations down in Burlington area, in Mount Vernon, obviously Whitby Island, but in Anacortes. But I know they all have talking to their staff, and they sounded like they were open to moving into Bellingham market, but-
So the idea of a coffee shop is still something I think everybody at this table is still interested in. The key is who is the best candidate to do it and where is the best location, right? So like Whitby Coffee, Woods Coffee, Cruisin' Coffee, the thing I like about them is they could come here with a trailer type of thing, right? And be set up. And if it doesn't work, their investment is very minimal, right? They're like, we tried it for a year, doesn't work, we're gonna pull our trailer out.
Most of the people I've talked to who were very enthusiastic, friends and everything, were looking forward to a place where they could go in and sit down
Right.
and, have get-togethers with friends.
Right.
And the trailer doesn't sound like it would do that.
No, it's kind of like, so there's really, in my opinion, for what it's worth, it's like two different markets. Like the one market is the people from Monday to Friday who are on their way to work. They want a coffee, they want a pastry, they want something, I'm in a hurry, grab and go, right? Which is like the one market. And then the second market is, hey, I want to sit down, you and I want to sit down and talk about something here. We want to have a coffee, we want to have a bit of a view, we want to enjoy each other's company, right?
And have pastry.
The European type of place to just meet, right? It's almost, I don't know whether you can put it together. The problem is is if you find the spot where you just want to sit down and talk, right, and say, hello, how you doing, what's going on, that might not be the most convenient place to just grab and go to coffee in the morning,
That's
right?
exactly right.
So that's the issue, right? So, but I think if we get a professional company in to look at Sutton Valley, right, and say, is it possible to do both, or is it possible just to do one? And, you know, Woods Coffee, Starbucks, Cruisin' Coffee, any of those people, they would be able to make that, you know, they know how much population they need, they know the demographics, they would know pretty quickly.
Point of order. I don't want to solve this thing tonight.
Yeah.
Are we gonna ask the general manager to, you know, solicit interest from companies? Is that what we wanna do? What do we wanna do?
Well, I think a good space for like a trailer concept would be right next to that big community center, or, you know, the welcome center when you come in, like, you know, against the back there, people can drive in and get a coffee. If we put the space up for an opportunity, someone could come in and take a look at that space.
Yeah.
You know, that's something like, and I know Joanne mentioned, you know, possibly the security office there as a drive-through option.
You haven't hit the other spot, which already has the utilities, which is the old rotunda. It has a drive-through road.
Right.
And it has all the utilities.
That's the one I think would be the.
But the point is, how do we want to proceed with this? What do we want to do?
Well, I think we need a means test the concept, right? Like, so that's why I think a space.
Solicit interest from companies?
Yeah, I'd say solicit interest and even post something online, like, hey, like, we're looking to rent out the space for a coffee shop, like, pictures.
So are we gonna ask Joanne to go ahead and figure out some way and come back to the long-range planning and saying, hey, how does that, Joanne, does that work with you?
Yeah, I can do that. I actually have a connection with the finance director of Woods Coffee, and I know some other people.
Oh, he
who run
lives here.
those Businesses, yeah, he lives here. He was on the
He
finance.
used to be on
committee.
finance, yeah.
Oh, so I know him through Joel, so, that's, yeah, we can do that, but, I hear discussion from two angles here. I hear discussion, what services do we need to enhance our community experience? And I hear also, what revenue can we derive from underutilized assets?
Both.
Right, I mean, I get both, but, you know, they may be mutually exclusive.
That could be.
Could be, I mean, I get it, and I think that that's a discussion that should be held by the members of the committee, and also perhaps you should get direction from the board of directors. Because, you know, we are underfunded at the moment, our reserves are lower than they should be, and it would be nice to augment them with money that doesn't come out of the pockets of the people who own homes.
The revenue that you're gonna get from a coffee shop is very marginal compared to our overall budget. If you get $1,000 a month, that's 12 grand a year on a $7 million budget, that's not gonna be significant.
Well, you've jumped to my point,
Yeah.
which is Area Y represents a much more significant return than a coffee shop, and yet the effort in entertaining business opportunities might be equal.
Yeah.
Similarly, we have an enormous campground that's currently leased for $0. So those there are other assets that could be.
Yeah. The concept of putting in self-storage lockers at Area Z or leasing, you know, 40 acres at the airstrip for Puget Sound, much greater potential for cash.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement though that we want to pursue the idea of a coffee shop and Joanne is going to entertain.
Get more information.
Go solicit
Right.
companies and see what interest exists.
Right.
All right.
All right, there you go.
Sounds good. We kind of looked at a couple of things we wanted to cover tonight as far as new business, and we had talked about looking at a strategic planning, but with Joanne here, we also know that we have to do a survey, and we talked about that. You talked about that in your last meeting. We did kind of a sample.
This is just a test survey.
Yeah, but this is what they did in 2020, these are the results. I mean, this is not usable, there's just too
worthless.
much to go through. We need a survey that, you know, gets down to the few issues that we really need to know about. There was good intentions in the 2020 survey, but it just was too long and it was, I've got it here just for you to look at.
It was very slanted too.
It was, and so Joanne has agreed to kind of go over some points of what we need to do with a survey and how we need to proceed, because there's no use putting out a survey, like this, it's not going to give us any information. So Joanne, if you can.
Sure. So I'd like to give you a little bit of my background. The first 9 years of my working life were spent running retail businesses. I was lucky enough to be hired by Macy's into their executive training program, and I managed first departments and then a line as an assistant buyer. It was a great education in business. Previously, I did not have any experience or information about business. I was a music major. After my 9 years, I realized that I was most interested in the use of data to apply to business management. So I transitioned from retail into marketing research. I spent the next 20 years working at marketing research companies, and I eventually rose to the rank of, I guess my last official research position was I was the vice president of operations for a international research company. Mostly developing online tools to collect, analyze, and report on data. And I also maintain panels of respondents around the globe. After that, I started specializing in the implementation of enterprise level applications for running and managing businesses and business intelligence. So I sort of diverged from my research path. But my research experience, I spent about 6 years doing projects with clients. I worked with clients in the financial sector and in the pharmaceutical sector. And I've run every kind of department there is in research, from survey development, client management, analytics, data collection, you name it. I've run it. So what I'd like to do today is get people to step back a little bit from the nuts and bolts, because this is something that I can help with. But what I think would be a more productive exercise would be to brainstorm a little, to whiteboard what questions you want to answer by doing a survey. And then I can present different ways of eliciting that information and different plans for how to approach people and how to keep them engaged. One of the constraints that made the survey that was completed in 2020 less than useful is that they believed they could only field it through a paper survey. And I don't believe that is a real constraint. The technology for researching and getting people to complete surveys online is extremely robust. We have access to a database of members. We have email addresses for a significant proportion of them. And we've just gone through an election in which we introduced online voting. And granted, more people voted on paper, but a significant proportion chose to vote online.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
So what percentage of Sudden Valley do we have emails for?
Probably about 30%.
30?
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a
Well, it
lot.
wasn't a lot when we started talking about parking stickers a minute ago.
Well, you don't need 100% of the people to respond in order to have a representative sample.
Right.
And that's the other thing that hampered the efforts. They did not attach address to return. So a return survey.
Is there a way, sorry.
There is a way.
Whether it's a lot or whether it's not a lot, it's still 30%, which is a small number, it's not even half. But is there a way that we can get more emails for the members of
We
Sudden
solicit
Valley?
them every day at the Welcome Center.
Okay.
Whenever we interact with someone, we check their listing and attempt to augment their contact information.
So getting a higher percentage of emails for the residents of Sudden Valley is an ongoing goal.
Yes,
Right, of Sudden Valley.
yes.
And we're at 30% now, and we are increasing like regularly, like daily, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
We probably have a greater number of like property owners, probably, like percentage wise. Like 30% of the population, but like
30% of
60,
property owners.
70% of property owners, probably, no.
30% of property owners.
Oh, okay.
All of our records at Sudden Valley are linked back to properties. So
So we have 1,000.
I'm not talking about, we have more than 2,000 people on our e-blast list.
Sounds about
It's
right.
like 2357. So we have a bunch of people who've signed up for the e-blast, but that is not connected to their property. We have a rigorous database that's maintained in our accounting system of every lot in Sudden Valley, every owner of every lot in Sudden Valley, their dues, payment history, other assessments that may have, been applied to their properties. So if we begin with that list of properties and property owners, you can build a representative sample based on a number of demographics, right? You can see where people are responding from around, the geography of the
Right.
association.
Well, 2,300 is actually a bigger number than I thought, because 2,300, right, of property owners, adults.
But we don't know that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
In the e-blast database, we have 2,300 email addresses.
Right.
These are people that are interested in Sudden Valley.
Okay, they may not live here?
We have no way of knowing. They just sign up. And that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be like a social media representation of to get the word out. Our internal database, we have mailing addresses for everyone.
Right.
You can see even the mailing addresses for owners, a certain proportion of them, it's small, but still there.
Not in Sun Valley.
Right, the addresses aren't current. We get return mail every year when we mail the ballot. But every time we interact with an owner, we check the database and attempt to improve the contact information. And so if we have 30% of the email addresses, we have 100% of mailing addresses, and about 95% of them are accurate. And we also have advertising. But what I'm saying is the online survey could be engineered so that people would qualify essentially to fill it out by saying, I live at this address, and confirming some other piece of information about themselves, which means that we would be able to link them to their property. We can link their property to the assessed value of the property. So in addition to a geographical representation, we could also create statistically representational groups based on the value of the property. People who own a home that's worth more than $1 million, people 800 to $1 million, 500 to 800, less than 500, right? And we could look to see if there are differences in the responses based on those demographics.
Should we put an article in the Sun Valley Views that says, hey, stay connected with administration, send us in your email?
Yeah, in every issue of the Views, we ask people to sign up for the e-blast. That doesn't make the important connection. But you may have noticed that there were articles about renewing your access card. That was an attempt for everybody who has an access card and comes in regularly to use this facility to upgrade the contact information for those individuals. So we're constantly looking for a way to do it. The survey would actually help us to acquire more email addresses because we would use an identification protocol that would link the response to the property.
So moving on with a survey.
Yeah, so if you guys want to brainstorm what you want to get out of it, if you look over the questions that Timmy provided, we want a lot of different things from people. We ask for their overall satisfaction with living here in Sudden Valley. I'm not sure what a gate experience is, but their neighborhood experience. How likely are they to recommend Sudden Valley? Those are very sort of touchy-feely things, but they do help to determine affinity. How connected do you feel to what the HOA is working on? I don't understand the point of that question, but if we knew what the point was, right, we could refine the questions or the sets of questions to get at it. So are you game for that? Do we have time for that this evening? Do you agree with that approach? Do you prefer a different
Great
approach?
use of time, personally, for me.
It would not be, I'm sorry, Dave.
No,
Would be.
it would be.
Okay,
Be a
do
great.
you want to lead it, Nick?
you're gonna do the notes, I'm gonna do the leading, is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
We're gonna play that game? All right, I'll work with you on it. I like your comment about, all right, so, let's start off with timings. On one, overall, how satisfied are you with Sudden Valley as a place to live? So do we wanna, the whole idea of a question should be data received. I mean, let's talk about that. So, what's the purpose of getting this data? All right, getting information is okay, it's data, but what do we want to do with it? We want to know how to suggest to the board to do things that is in the best interest of the valley. That is the greatest amount of support that the board would have with making a decision. So it's votes, but it's also some things you're going to propose that would be, they may not like it, but it's in the best interest. So for example, what's not in here is, are you aware of the structural failures of our buildings and it's more expensive to repair them than it is to replace them? We don't have technical questions like that, but we want to understand what people want, right? So
On the first question here, if a household has more than one person, then there's more than one opinion.
okay, so.
And how do we address that?
So let me ask this question. When it goes to the question Joanne asked earlier about, there's so many people who have you get the e-blast. My wife and I both get them. That's 2 in a house, all right? I can see more than 3 in a house. So are we gonna have one household per survey?
No. It's just too, I think we're just getting too deep into these. I think, whoever's in the house probably gets to say, like, it's gonna be tough to do one per household.
So.
Well, I'm concerned because the population that I've always had the most distress about, that is underserved, is a population
Seniors.
that is not necessarily computer literate. So they're totally out.
Why are they
I
not?
think an option for both, we could probably do an option for both, but I think we need to really push for a digital survey, because the majority do a digital survey.
I get these in the mail, it's like, I'm
Yeah,
happy to
well, that's
participate.
fine if you've got a computer.
Well, okay.
You can do it on your phone too.
You can do it on.
Well, it's fine if you have a
You-
phone that
I'm
works.
sure.
If they don't have a phone and they don't have a computer, I don't think we want their input to begin with.
But maybe we should be getting it.
I say that lightly. I
Yeah.
say that lightly, humorously. It's like, are you that out of touch? Are you not connected at all to your community, to your neighbors?
I
Or
think
we could provide hard
what I'm
copies if
saying is,
necessary.
You can have
is
them at the
our community that disconnected from a third of the population?
Well, you know what, like Sean said, we can have hard copies available for
Admin,
those
yeah.
admin. If you're interested enough to do the survey and are not comfortable with the computer, it's
down.
there, come down, it'll take you 5 minutes, you don't have to just fill it up.
Okay?
Okay,
So,
so, back to,
That part can be
how
overcome.
satisfied, does everyone agree that you get good data out of number one?
I like the question.
Okay. Right, anyone not like it?
So, Joe, why do we want to know if people are satisfied?
Well, because I think that, at the end of the day, you go, you know what? It's kind of a waiting thing, like how happy are people with Sudden Valley? Well, you know what? They're very happy with
Where are you
Sudden
coming
Valley.
from?
Right, so now, overall, this is not a big issue. We got a rating of 1, so people or 5, if that's the top rating is
Yeah.
5, right? People are very satisfied. And, being in the car business, right? And looking at the surveys that General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, Stellantis, Nissan, whatever it is, that send out to their customers, that's very representative of a question that they would ask. How satisfied overall are you with your car?
Right, so I don't have any quarrel with that question, but I'm trying to make a point. Satisfaction is a great thing to determine, to measure.
Right.
But then you have to link it to things. For
Right.
example, there's no questions about here.
Yeah, we're not saying that we don't have to link it to things, we
No,
just
no,
say
no.
this is a good
Okay.
starting point, and we have to get more detail.
We have to let people finish their thoughts.
Right. How long have they lived here, for example?
We have
Are
that
they
further
planning
on.
to, right, but are they planning to move? Why did they, like, asking them why they moved here and putting satisfaction in a context is important. So, one of the things that you can get at with satisfaction is affinity. Do you feel like, and some of these questions are aiming at that, do you feel like you're a part or you're connected? Is that really important, or do we care more about if they're satisfied with their purchase? Car manufacturers are dealing with a specific product. The problem with our houses here, right, which are our product, is that they're associated with many different things, right? The neighborhood has a reputation. Your neighbors are part of the equation. It's not just a simple product, right? Which we have limited control over because houses were built by a whole bunch of different people, right? See what I mean? So it's a little,
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah, but
it's
in
a little
their
complicated.
survey, that they send out, they would have like an overall question like that, then as you get into it,
drill down,
they would drill into the details.
right?
Right.
So,
So there's nothing wrong with question one, but, so I think we all kind of like question one, so is question two necessary?
I don't think question 2 derives anything. I'm just wondering, do we, as the association trying to get information,
Well, later on in the survey, it asks you what gate you have. It's an optional question, but it asks you what gate you're in.
But you know what gauge you're in.
I think that's a pretty philosophical question.
Well,
Well, every time you drive in, there's a little sign.
but I drive into 2 different gates.
Whatever is your question.
Gate 13 and gate 9 are so meshed together, we have no idea.
We're gonna drop
We
in.
gotta be, yeah, we gotta be careful not to get into the weeds too much.
we're going to
We
get
are
into
getting
these
into the
here.
weeds. This is,
I think that number 2 doesn't get us anything.
I don't think so either.
Let's cross that out.
Okay.
All right, Joanne. Is number 3 important to our survey?
I don't think so.
question 3 is a way of
sorry, yeah,
understanding question 1.
All right,
Likelihood to recommend is a fancy way to get at what people really think about a place. So I would leave 3.
Okay.
I don't,
Actually, I'm okay with 3 too.
very
We all
good.
good with 3?
I like
Everybody?
3.
Okay.
So number 4, how connected do you feel to what the HOA is working on? So we've jumped from how do you feel to how connected do you feel? How connected or how aware? Is it connected or aware? Are you following what's going on? Are you aware of the decisions? Are you, all right? Are you aware of the annual plan? Are you aware of the, what happens around the valley? Are we looking for amenities, or you are aware of?
Well, it says how connected are you, what the HOA is working on, yes.
So we're only asking if they're connected with one item in the valley.
How connected do you feel to what the HOA is working on?
So long range planning, over that.
All right? So would big questions be long-range planning, yes, no, maintenance, yes, no?
Could do that, I like that.
All right. Joanne, does that help dial down? If we were to try to give it to, all right, what is long-range planning trying to accomplish? What is the board trying to accomplish? What is maintenance trying to accomplish? What's the sports, what's our rec department trying to accomplish?
I guess in your professional opinion, Joanne, how many questions would you want to keep the survey under?
well, you want to keep it to under 3 minutes, and you can use,
That would be awesome, but.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
yeah, and you can do 3 to 5 questions like this in a minute.
Okay.
So do the math.
Okay.
If we have a 5-minute survey, we can do somewhere between 15 and 20 questions.
Yeah,
And then we can easily go back to people and get them to fill out future surveys as well.
Yeah,
This is
that's what
not
I'm
a
saying.
one-shot deal. is what I'm saying.
That's important to remember
once
that.
this is like getting them adopted to like digital surveys, and then it will be a lot easier later on, I think,
Because that last one, the one in 2020, by the time I was done filling it out, I was so over it, I wasn't even giving it my full attention, I felt. I just kind of wanted to get it done because I thought, if I kind of get into that, it's like when you're on hold for so long.
Yeah,
you've
response
gotten-
fatigue.
Yeah.
So where a question comes, in the survey determines how much attention people pay to it.
Yeah, so, but if you can do it really quick and then do another one down the road and get more specific the next time.
Right, and there's also ways to set up questions that make it easier to answer them quickly. For example, I don't think asking a general question about people's relationship with the HOA is a bad idea, but I would want to drill down from there, and say things like,
Committees, the board.
like ask a general question. You know, how connected, let's use that word, how connected are you to the activities of the homeowners association, the Sun Valley Community Association? People give an answer. And then you ask a series of questions about like, have you ever attended a meeting? Do you watch meetings, recordings of meetings online? Ask them specific activities. Have they participated in any of these activities? Did you ever go to an event at the rec center? Because now their answer has some teeth to it. When you say you feel connected to the association, why? Because you send us a check? Did you ever do anything? And you can have question series that work together like that. If we just did a survey that asked people how satisfied they were with their experience, what their relationship with the association was, what sorts of things they had actually done to interact with the association, how comfortable they were with how things were going, sort of that high level, how are we doing kind of a survey, that might be all you could do in a first survey and get a high response rate. But then you could turn around and do a more directed survey, right? And then dive into the different projects. And then, you know, you could follow up with maybe people who are aware or who weren't aware, and you could compare and contrast those responses. So if you, this is good feedback, but what I like to do is take the feedback that we'll continue to collect here and then come back with a suggestion.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next one,
Yeah.
5,
Yeah.
what areas should the board and long-range planning prioritize? Should it be the board and long-range planning? It should just be, which areas should be the priorities? Forget the board and long-range planning. What areas do you feel are the we should prioritize over the next 3 to 5 years?
Right.
All right, so,
Do we see the big gaping hole on this question?
money? All right, what's gaping hole?
Seniors,
Senior center,
Senior center?
senior centers?
senior center. We need to have
Senior citizens?
some place for the seniors to get
senior
together,
center,
to
sorry.
have services.
Isn't that covered by community programming and amenities?
No! Community programming, you wanna walk out here to the rec department? There's not a single chair out there that's right for an older person.
Okay,
Well, we
so
can add seniors on.
I like the adding senior center,
Yep.
all right?
Well-
A place for seniors.
And where they can have
I
programs
think not
brought
just-
from the county into Sun Valley.
But not right here, but
No, but
they could, that's why we
Yeah.
wanted a senior center.
and it would be nice to have a place where seniors are welcome. And they can open the door if they're in a walker or a wheelchair.
We could also add an other, right, so they could explain,
They write in, yeah.
right, they write other,
Yeah, other
something we
and-
missed?
No, I think it needs to be senior,
Oh, that
definite.
No, I'm
Well,
not
nobody
saying
said that.
don't do senior, I'm
Oh,
saying
you're saying in
do
addition?
senior, but then also put other in case we miss something.
Okay, I'm
And they could
willing
write
to go
in,
with.
they could fill in the blank
Yeah.
and say, well, you missed talking about this.
Okay.
So when I look at the list, road maintenance and safety, pretty clear, right? Hey, we're talking about cash into, all right, parks, trails, rec, facility repair and life cycle maintenance, is that the kind of redundant? You know, maintenance of our facilities, is it, you know, facility repair,
Well, I'd say maintenance and repair.
maintenance and repair? Yeah,
Yeah, the life cycle thing is so weird.
well, it's an important word if we're talking about how to program money, but facility
Yeah.
maintenance and repair. All right, financial stability and reserves,
That's a good one.
all right. Emergency preparedness, wildfire, mitigation, I think it's a very big one.
Mhm.
All right, communications, does that belong in here?
Yeah.
I think it does.
Okay.
So select up to 3. You only have 3 to pick from?
Well,
That's-
what happened?
Yeah,
I'm just going through the list here.
I wanted to do another one like the one below it, where it's just like rank. I wanted, like, what I want to see is just like a rank of like 10 things, you know, with the community.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah,
9,
exactly,
10.
that way we know, you know,
I think question 5, I think should be a rank as well.
yeah, we can do that.
So,
So it gets a little messy.
ranking is very difficult to analyze unless you're using multivariate statistics, and
Okay.
we probably won't have enough responses to do that sort of analysis.
Okay,
So, the best way to do that is in an importance battery, where you give a scale for each of these items and ask something like, how important are each of these areas to you?
Okay.
Scale,
Road maintenance, road safety,
1 to
because
10.
maintenance and safety, yeah,
1
something
to
like
10.
that.
So right behind each one of these on a scale of 1
Right.
to 10.
And in a battery, you can answer 8 to 10 questions in a minute. So that helps us to get more data out of it. So I would put
Okay.
that into an importance battery.
okay.
And then I would separate things out. Trails, parks, and outdoor recreation. I mean, a lot of people like playing tennis and have never walked on a trail. So I don't know that I would group those things together. Do you guys, I mean, it's outdoor
I
stuff.
think for I guess it depends on the questions you want, if we're besting it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oops, sorry.
Maybe the next time, get it more specific, but for now, kind of
keep
keep
it,
it together,
okay.
so we don't overwhelm.
And so wildfire mitigation is an example of emergency preparedness, but there are other things too in there. Do you want to dive that deep or keep it general?
Could add more to that same question, is what, you know, I don't know, I mean, again, keeping it under the 3 or 5 minute.
Maybe just leave it as emergency preparedness,
I would
as
go with
as
that
a
way.
general category, take out the wildfire mitigation,
If
and
anything, I
just
would,
do emergency
You would leave it
preparedness.
You could put flood, maybe, I would put flood on there, maybe.
Well, if it's just like, if we're gonna do another survey, maybe just leave it as emergency preparedness, and then if that's a high priority, the next time you can ask, like, what are your concerns, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, this
We
one,
need-
keep it simpler the first time.
These broad categories could roadmap to future surveys.
So we take the wildfire mitigation part out, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
are we all in agreement,
Yeah.
Joanne?
I'm just noting that they're kind of different and kind of the same. But Mitch, do you feel a high?
I think if you were to look at the entire association, and you say, what is the greatest risk to the association? To the owners of the association, it would come down to, if we have a fire, gate 2 is trapped. All right? We have a fire, if you're in 5, you might get out 2 different ways. If you're in 3, 9, or 13, you might get out 3
Hey,
different ways.
I've got a pond.
All
I
right,
can
if you're in
flip
gate
it.
1, you're getting out one way. If you're in gate 2, you're getting out one way.
I'm ripping across the golf course.
Yep, that's the other way, but you might head right into the next fire, right? So I think wildfire is from a risk versus consequence, wildfire is very serious.
And yet the
here.
most dangerous thing in Sudden Valley is falling trees.
Wildfire,
That's more
vegetation.
people have been hurt by falling trees.
I understand.
Yeah, if you look at the actual issues that we've had in the last 5 years, if you go back, even though wildfire is important because of the danger of it, over the last 5 years, flooding, wind, right?
Yep.
Wind isn't the risk, it's the stuff that comes down from
Wind and trees falling, okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
flooding, wind and trees, power outages,
Ice storms.
right? And snow and wildfires, I mean, we can delve into them separately as time goes on, but those are probably the 5 things, we haven't experienced
Right,
a wildfire.
You
But it's the
raise
highest
a point.
risk.
You raise a really good point. Should we just go ahead and put in a section? Joanne, I'm gonna need your guidance here. Should we add in another question in here on a scale of 1 to 10? Wildfire, flood, ice, falling trees. What do you think is the greatest risk to you, the membership?
Well, I think once you get that answer, we're gonna be putting money in a fund to take care of this, so I mean, like, if we just have an emergency fund, then we're just filling that for everything. Like, that's what I'm thinking about it.
I, don't, yeah, maybe we should just have emergency preparedness as a whole different category.
Why don't we do emergency preparedness and then have the emergency committee that we have, right?
Did we
Make
get
up-
one established?
We have an emergency committee, right? And then they can develop that question further.
Yeah,
So one of the things you have to remember when you do a survey is not to ask about things you can't actually affect. And it's the biggest way to destroy people's interest in your surveys, right? Is if you ask them about something, but then you turn around and don't do anything with it, right? And I think in the whole area of emergency preparedness, are we really contemplating building another exit point for gates 1 and 2? Do we have the funding or the ability to do that? Okay, so that's going to remain a facet of our environment. Should we have some sort of a plan as to how to evacuate? I don't know. I mean, there is a whole emergency management department funded by state and federal funds in Whatcom County.
Of which we're not entitled to receive any as an HOA.
Well, yeah, but the other thing is, what could we do? And I can't answer that question. I mean, Mitch, you've looked at that intensely. I'm more of a financial person, and if you asked me what the greatest risk was to the association, I would tell you the loss of our liability insurance. Right, so I'm looking at it from a very different lens than y'all, because I don't live here.
Yeah, all right, so HOAs are, loss of liability insurance is a very big issue in an HOA. And some HOAs have lost their insurance and they're then assigned risk management, all right? So I don't know that Sudden Valley's profile has been impacted. I don't know how many have we had a lot of lawsuits that we have received?
From falling trees.
Let's skip that, let's skip that. All right, I agree it's an issue, but I don't think the membership can do something about that.
No, I'm just trying to illustrate that I'm not the best person to answer this question.
Could they do something about wildfire management? Yes, that's something we could do, all right?
But we can't do anything about the fact that there's one exit from
No,
gates
we
1 and
can't.
2.
No, but we can, like, the safety committee has that meeting every year and talks about what you can do to protect your home, you know, getting rid of the ladder fuels and all of that. So, I mean, we are trying to address it with people, trying to, you know, help the spread, so.
Right, but to delve too deeply into something like that, my point is that what we can do as an association is somewhat limited.
Yeah, so I think just either leave it as just emergency preparedness, leave it as that, and add wildfire, or just like leave the wildfire on or take it off, but I don't think we want to get too far into too many other possibilities.
So this is a 1 to 10, and we added senior center, and so do we move on?
Yeah, and I think that emergency preparedness, again, we have a safety committee, right? And they should take that further.
Great.
Whether they want to put some more surveys in the paper or whatever, I think that's up to their job, that's their job to take that further.
How are we going to communicate that to them?
The
We could
board
have-
directs the committee, so the board can.
Directors, you be people to probably say to the safety committee people, hey, long range planning would like input, you to do, work with Joanne on a survey for emergency management.
We can do that.
All right, so then we go to 6, we've got the rank of 1 to 10. Oh, and we're gonna, on number 5, we're getting rid of select up to 3, and we're doing everything on a 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. 6 over there, Joanne, 6?
Yep.
So, everything rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, it's,
Again, ranking questions are only helpful in multivariate.
so we're gonna do all of this 1 to 10 also?
Yeah,
So
and
if you can walk me through that one more time, so if there's like 100 people and then we get 60 of them vote rank 1 on maintenance and repair, so that you're saying it's not, like, it's not a good way to measure that? Or?
no, because you don't know what the difference is, the step level between someone's first, second, and third ranking. With an important scale, you do.
Okay. And so what's that called again, the importance scale?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not too sure I understand this one.
I don't know what the average community member would make of this.
Yeah, this one was a tough one.
Yeah, I think we can move on with that one, because that's going to,
It's just,
The answers could look a little bit better, but I'll see about the importance scale there. There's only so many options you have to break these out in different formats.
And it's
Time
one,
you
two,
created
three,
this
four,
question?
Sean did this. We had the 2020 survey, and Sean took some of that stuff and he made this up. So,
I see. So it looks like what he was trying to do is get them to look at if you want to try to maintain what you got to, okay, we're going to have to put money into it. That's what it looks like from here. All right, how willing are you to take on debt to fix an essential facility?
Right, yeah, it's
That
kind of
seems like that
thinking.
whole, that's what this whole thing is.
Right. I was looking at like the feedback from online and just like people kind of arguing about, whatever maintenance or upgrades or, the facility we're talking about over here, and I want to put it to bed. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know where the community is on that,
so
like,
maybe
on everything like that.
All right.
do the same thing with an importance scale on a 1 to 10, like
Yeah,
just instead of ranking them, do a 1 to 10 again? If you like the headings,
Why don't we just synthesize this down to a question?
okay?
How willing are you to take on, how willing, my phrasing will be wrong,
Yeah,
so
we can-
please everyone jump in here. How willing are you to take on more debt to repair essential facilities that are beyond maintenance? So I'll throw another question to it, Joanne, help me on this one. Asking people, are you aware that structural engineers have said the Barn 8 has $3.5 million in structural repairs? Are you aware of that, yes or no? Are you aware the building is 50 years old plus? Asking people just direct questions, are you aware of this? Right? Do you feel that it would be wiser to try to repair? Or do you feel, the building doesn't have, are you aware the building doesn't have these things? And given all of this, would you be willing to invest money to build a new building? Do you see where I'm going on that? As you're listening to me?
Yeah, I do see where you're going with it, and I think we're
I'm not trying to-
conflating a bunch of different things, right? I think there needs to be information, and that's what the problem is with this question. You need to have certain information in order to make the best decision, because in different circumstances, each of these approaches might be the best one, right? For like the maintenance building versus the clubhouse versus a road versus a culvert versus something else, right? So I think and you said this first, Mitch. How willing are you to see dues increase in order to
Repair
essential or owned assets, current owned assets,
current owned assets.
right?
Yeah.
And how willing are you, and these are not the right words either, but would you be accepting of a dues increase if you were sure that it was going to go towards improving a facility or just maintaining it? Do you feel that you would be accepting of debt to add new things, like that?
Okay, the debt to add new things I would stay away from. I think on this one, I would give them the information. The question is, are you aware as a member that this building has $3.5 million in structural deficiencies? Are you aware this building doesn't have fire sprinklers? Are you aware the electrical system is beyond?
Patchwork.
Well, after they read the question, the answer's
No,
gonna
but
be yes.
you give them these pieces of information.
you read them.
You just said, well, I guess I am now.
Now, given this information, how willing are you to accept more debt to either to rebuild, or do you still think to refurbish? Right? How willing are you, should the building be destroyed? That's where they were trying to go to. But I don't want to make it choice A, choice B, choice C. Repair, destroy, build new. Given this information on a scale of 1 to, I like that. Given this information on a scale of 1 to 10, how willing are you to take on new debt to replace a critical facility?
I think we could do a follow-up survey that gets into that. At least that's where I'm at on that, but.
Let me hear it.
Go ahead.
Give me this again.
I think we could do like a more in-depth survey,
Yeah.
for that. I just, I'm just thinking more top line, but that's.
All right, higher level going.
Because it's
forward,
but I think, we do have to have a question like that. At least one that kind of says, hey, like, if we need to completely redo a major, asset of ours, like, are you willing to,
So that's what he was trying to do here on his choices. You want to maintain and repair an existing. Okay. Oh, yeah, I want to maintain and repair an existing. But would you maintain and repair an existing if the cost of maintenance for that was greater than new? That's where he's at in the far end. So that's where he was going with this. Each one was, well, what a cost-efficient upgrade over replacement. I'm not sure where that goes. Well, hey, how about consequence versus, risk versus consequence? What's the risk of failure of the facility versus the cost?
Okay, I'd like to say, Joanne is an expert in this, obviously, right? She just gave us her background, and we can go through each one individually and things like that. Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
That Joanne comes back to us next meeting with 15 to 20 questions, right? With her professional opinion based on the fact that she's the general manager.
That's what she's going to do if we go
No.
through these.
But do we need to go through each one specifically now, I guess is my point, or can we have her, when she has a minute, go through them and give us 15 questions next week that she's analyzed and says, I think this is the best 15 questions for Sun Valley to put out there. Keep in mind that this is just a first time around, right? It's not doesn't have to be everything, right? Because we can have another survey later on, right, to delve in deeper. The safety committee can have another survey if they want, right, to delve in deeper.
Okay, so
Everybody
follow mine. You're suggesting, so let's ask Joanne, is that what she would like to do?
Could you do that for us?
Yeah, I can, but I want more feedback.
Yeah,
That's the
because,
point of why
and
we're
I
going
wanted
through this.
to give more feedback.
Right, because I don't
Further
want
on into
yeah.
this thing.
Right, I think we need to skip over question 6 because it's very problematic.
Very
You
good.
could do a whole survey around question 6.
Yeah, so we can just come back to that at some other
Let's go
point.
to 7.
All right.
Yeah,
What would improve the quality of your life? So everything would be a 1 to 10, by the way?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So what would be most improved quality of life for you in this valley? So pedestrian, trail connectivity, landscaping, common area, amenity access, customer service, communications.
Other,
No. I think we should have a specific statement about needing more meeting rooms, needing more space for community to get
Gathering
together.
space.
Gathering space, yes, that's the,
All right.
more
Yeah.
spaces for community gathering.
yes.
Right, but we can have other as well, right? You can always.
Yeah, you can do other.
Okay.
You just gotta do mine.
I thought you said no. I said other, and then you said no, so I just wanted to.
Yeah,
make sure.
I'm just,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
so as is and just add that. Okay, question 8.
All right. So how satisfied are you with our outdoor amenities? Well, I think that's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right.
I think that's good. 9.
Well, what can anybody do about it?
Well, tell us.
Well, you can say, like, our trails suck, our stuff's lovely.
9 is a good motherhood question. How satisfied are you with our facilities overall? Well, I don't think is that a 1 to 10 or is just click this number?
I think it's a click.
Just click this number.
Yeah, satisfaction on a 5-point scale is pretty standard, so you
Okay. How important are outdoor amenities to your household? All right. So a question that's not asked here, Joanne, you and I went back and forth on it. I don't use any of the amenities, but I want them. I want them here. So I don't use the pool. I'm glad that we have one. I don't use golf. I'm glad we have one. I don't have a marina. I don't use it. I'm glad we have one.
Well, that's why importance is a great surrogate for that, right? Because
Yeah.
how important is having a gym to you,
Yeah.
right? If you don't have to use it.
We're not asking if you use it. How important?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
You used the marina last year.
Oh, yeah, I got on your boat.
I saw it.
Okay, I think.
Okay, all right, that was private.
I think we should also then have how important are indoor facilities.
Well, I think that's actually the
Community
difference
facilities.
between 8 and 9. It's just not clear from the wording. Like, so facilities in 9, I think, are buildings.
Yeah, we could
And
say indoor
yeah, so we could
facilities.
split out, we could make the questions a little more specific to
All
talk
right.
about our different categories of things. I'll clean that up.
Thank you.
Um,
Indoor, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and so question 11 is a lot like the dreaded question 6.
So let's get rid of it.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a hot topic.
But we can go back to it. Like, it doesn't mean we
Yeah, no,
can address it
I
later.
mean, I think we should, for sure. I'm just noting that, obviously.
It's a hot topic.
It's so vague.
It is.
Well, that's why we're gonna get rid of it, number 11.
Yeah.
We need to clean up some of these anyway, so we need to trash some of these. We can always do another survey.
So, number 12, how satisfied are you with road maintenance and conditions? Are we asking them, what are you asking them? The road maintenance?
Yeah.
How well it's being maintained? How fast we got our roads plowed?
Yeah, we had maintenance on our road when they had like this much snow on the ground. They were coming through with their snow plow. I was like, when they were there.
They were there.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right,
they're two separate questions.
there's two
but the
separate
idea
questions
is-
here.
Yeah, right.
So why don't we break those into two separate questions?
Yeah, I
How
got that.
satisfied are you with road maintenance? How satisfied are you with the conditions of our roads?
Right, it is two different questions.
Yeah.
All right? So pedestrian, the next one, to me is an oddity because Sudden Valley was built in its concept and its covenants as a no sidewalk community. So how important is pedestrian? All right, well, you
I
got an
think-
issue. You're asking people to say, I want sidewalks. It's
I think-
impossible to build sidewalks.
Yeah, we don't have, I would get.
And we don't have lights, and I think we just should cross that one out and
I
hide
think
it.
so too.
Well, traffic safety, yes.
I
but-
mean, the best thing they could do in this community is make everybody wear white coats at night.
Hi, doctor.
Well, even traffic safety, I mean, we've tried to get the sheriff to come out here. It is really hard.
It is. But traffic safety, I think it's important.
But maybe we need to bring that, get the safety
There's
committee
only
working
one-
on that rather than
Well,
us.
the specific charter of the safety committee is to organize educational events and to make materials about safety available to the community and publicize that. To help the community prepare their home, be ready for this emergency, that emergency. The safety committee is not about traffic safety. I mean, unless they're talking about bus stop safety. They're not gonna advise us on how to fix our roads. But if we prioritize traffic safety, there is a way to get people to slow down, and that is to purchase that $55,000 piece of equipment that takes their speed and attaches it to a picture of their license plate so we can find them.
Yes, I love that tool. I think it's well worth the money.
I do too, because I think it would pay for itself in
Where would you
parts.
put it?
Couple of weeks.
We'd move it
Well,
around.
Ah,
You know, those camera speed limit tickets have been challenged in court in a lot of areas.
We're an HOA. You want to challenge us in court. Judges are predisposed to grant to the HOA.
And they would have to go to the appeals committee and the appeals committee could deny it and then it's attached to your property.
All right, then you go to small claims for your next appeal, but it's still on your property unless the small claims judge says no.
So this is just an HOA fine, it's not a.
That's right.
Right.
So,
but where would you put it?
well, you can move it around.
Because there is no
You can
edge
move it around.
to it
So
any
you can
part.
move it around.
There's plenty of places.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of places. They're very mobile and easy to
Yeah.
locate.
Yeah, but
We just have to put
there's usually a ditch on each side of the road.
There's plenty of
There's plenty
places
of
to put them.
I'm
Okay.
against it, it's,
We'll put it in
We
your
know how
driveway.
fast you drive now.
Yeah, no, I'm just, I hate, the digital,
Big brother.
enforcement, yeah, I don't like it.
No,
I'm not a fan either.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
can't-
then
gotta
what are
get
you
through.
gonna do about
Well, I'm
people
just saying
that don't live here that speak?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Like
That's the
that
problem.
damn Amazon delivery service.
Okay, we're off topic.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we are.
Just to get back to Joanne's point, Joanne, is it important for you to attend the first meeting of the safety committee just to make sure they're pointed in the right direction, or do you think they're automatically pointed in the right direction?
Well, it's right there in their charter.
Okay, so they're okay with what, okay.
Yeah, and the chair and the board members who were on the safety
They know.
committee.
Yeah, and Tom is very easy to speak to. And,
Yeah, they're serious
Okay.
people.
Sounds good at this stuff.
Just a side note, Joanne, I'm sorry to get too in the weeds here, but, I heard Fish and Game is giving talks and like questions and comments, but they're holding some at like
Are they coming back?
the FERS preschool, because there's, the mountain line's been around there, they had to close school down.
Oh, are they coming out? Because we.
Yeah, they would come out and
We have
answer some of the communities.
That's precisely what the safety committee.
Yeah, that would be, I was just saying, if
Yeah,
you wanna,
precisely, I can pass that along to
Yeah.
Tom for sure.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had a front page story. They came out with all kinds of stuff.
Oh, well,
That
that
was
was great.
great.
Yeah,
Thank you, cool.
so are we, taking question 13 out for now and putting it to safety for now?
Yeah, take it out.
Is that what everyone wants? Take it out?
Okay.
I'm seeing a nod, I'm going,
Yeah,
God,
I think
it's a
so
yes.
for now.
Okay,
I
bye,
think so for
bye. Okay, what about 14? Little hot button there?
That is a real hot button.
Well, we can answer that question if we understand how important each of these areas are to people. See what I mean? Like, we don't have to have them answer it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we can do without 14.
Goodbye. Okay, we go to 15. How satisfied are you with Sudden Valley Communications about decisions and projects? All right?
What
So-
does that mean?
Yeah, I think that we need to change, restructure that question. All right? I'm not satisfied because I wasn't at that meeting. You didn't come to my living room and ask me about it.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know if satisfied is it, but,
Yeah.
but,
How aware are you of how decisions are made?
I like that better.
All right, maybe we're
But
getting there.
even
Joanne, how
that-
do you feel about that one?
Maybe this should be for a lighter
Are
questionnaire.
Are you aware of how decisions are made on capital money? Are you aware of how decisions are made on new construction or purchases? I don't know.
yeah, that's a more interesting question for sure. I like question 16 though.
16 or 15?
Yeah, I like
We're-
16.
I think we're done, I think if we
Let's do
take the,
15.
Hold on, hold
yeah,
on.
15 is good. How aware are you of,
Of how.
how decisions are made,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, all right, off we go to 16. Oh, I love 16.
Yeah, and I can just make, and again, we don't want a ranking, we want some sort of importance thing, but whatever, I'll figure it out.
Can you go ahead and, on the social media one, can you actually?
Certainly
ask them,
something
like,
might
How
happen.
stupid are you to believe everything you read on?
I only did Google Forms, but like, SurveyMonkey might have more options for that kind of a survey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does,
So,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I would add another category on this.
What would you add?
I would add gate signs.
Oh, yeah.
We stopped using those years ago.
Well, you
Why
know,
did they just break and you didn't want to replace them, or you thought they were useless?
After I left, they stopped using them. We wanted, there were 3 proposals.
oh,
out.
I know why they did, because they leaked and smeared all the letters.
Well, that's solvable.
No, that wasn't it. We had proposals out to purchase these signboards and put them in each of the mailboxes.
Uh-huh.
And so once a week, we would then do like you would get at a cruise ship, post it. Someone would go around, open the box, put it up, so when people were getting their mail, they could actually see this is the list of activities for the
Yeah.
week. And the board said, yeah, let's do that. Okay, we're gonna look into that a little further. I left, they stopped.
You wouldn't, we used to do.
The gate signs were hard to read as you were running in and out of the gate.
Yeah, we have that problem now, those A-frames are kind of dopey. The
Yeah.
mailbox thing though, I've added 2 responses there, so I'll come back with a list, and then it'll be longer, and you guys can refine it.
Anything
You
else, any
know,
other
the
comments?
best thing we could do with the gates would be electronic signs.
Oh, yeah.
That you could reprint from
Which
the
one?
office.
They were
I was
very
on- I was on
expensive
6.
electronic.
Well, I know they are, but on the other hand,
Communication
Yeah.
channels.
so was a
Okay.
newspaper.
All right,
And she wants to report to
We have the views in there somewhere, right?
so what do you guys,
Gee, I
should we
thought it was
stop for a
fine.
moment? You're working on something.
Well, I think Joanne's making notes on everything,
Yeah.
and is gonna get back to us.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are, I'm just waiting for the directors to catch up with us so we can.
We're way ahead.
Yeah, I lost it on my phone, so now I'm
Of course you
sharing
are.
his.
You are always ahead.
We're on the next
Notices
survey.
and things.
Which of the following makes you more likely to respond to surveys and engage?
Shorter survey.
What's it? Well, I didn't like this one either, pal. I mean, okay, we like this one or not?
I don't know that we could believe people. A lot of times in survey research, you can ask the question and it's perfectly understandable and it would be great data, but people say things and then they don't follow through.
I don't like this
I
question
would get rid of
at all.
that.
You don't like it, huh?
No.
What about you, Sean? You like
I
it?
like the question. I think
Your question?
Because I think we're trying to figure out like how we can get more people, engaged with our survey. But I think, maybe if incentives, like, have you done incentives before, or like drawings or anything for, I can't remember if you said you did or not, but.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I've done
that's
everything from paying people. We had a program where we sent them one chess piece every time they completed a survey.
Oh, really?
And if they collected all the pieces, they got a board. Love that. Are you kidding me? I've done surveys on the backs of checks, so if they cash the check, we get the survey back.
Yeah.
You name it, it's sleazy, I've done it.
They all sound expensive.
Yeah, I used to do surveys at medical conventions, and my innovation was, previous to me, the person had hired survey research companies, which were typically, they had little old ladies to go out and collect all this information. And, they'd approach you with a white coat and a clipboard. I innovated by hiring models, and we never had better response rates.
Wow.
Were they have bikinis?
Were they male?
No, it was all male doctors.
Well,
Come on, this was the
it's
80s.
usually the women that fill these things out.
Anyway, hilarious.
There's a side of you I didn't know about.
Yeah.
She has so many sides, it's
Lazy
amazing.
marketer, yeah.
Okay, so Sean likes number
I
17.
like it, yeah, but I would love to just get feedback, just to see, what would make more sense to get more people engaged. But
Feedback for Sean.
also, I would love to do like some kind of incentive or drawing or
What's
something
gate level
for the survey.
participation?
To get people to do those,
We can absolutely do that, actually.
Yeah.
What is
Really.
gate level participation challenges?
Oh, that's if you get, I'm assuming that's if you get,
Hey, my gate, we're
like
gonna do.
gate 3 got the most,
Well, that's if you know what gate you're in.
well, that's the thing,
We gotta draw that big red line still. We'll put that on
I'm
the-
gonna get a marker and draw it around your house. I'm going over there tomorrow, they can't spray paint. You are in this zone. Hey, all right, so the question on this, which is kind of cool, is like, all right, well, which of the, how would you describe your willingness to get involved in association activities? I mean, that's not in here anywhere. Do we want any kind of question like that?
I think that might be a good one.
That's a great one.
All right, and then asking them, all right, what would it take, geez, what are you?
The answer to those is 3 different things. Not at all interested, occasionally interested, and ongoing interest.
All right, let me rephrase my question. How willing are you to get involved in association activities? All right, that could be A. B, what would it take to get you involved besides cash? No,
there's so many things that could be.
yeah, I don't know where that
That's so many
goes,
choices.
but I like the idea of
Yeah.
opening it up to, we want more people to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get you involved? Would you be more inclined to be involved in social activities, neighborhood activities, carnivals, circuses,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah,
Well, maybe your question, the way you just phrased it is, we are interested in getting more people involved. What would it take to get you involved?
Give me the answer and then write it in.
There you go. Write it in.
You might look at a lot of the stuff that the library and the garden club does.
Well, we gave it to Joanne to play with. All right, 18. Ooh, capital planning guidance. When considering future projects, which principle matters most? This is, we're gonna go with 1 to 10s on those 4. Keeping dues stable, focus on asset preservation and repairs, balance, improvement.
Yeah, I would do 1 to 10 on that one.
I think it's an important question.
Yeah, I don't think one question can answer it, though.
Yeah.
That's hard. I like, how supportive would you be of funding projects that clearly maintain community assets? I like that. The principles,
19.
yeah, so question 18, the principles, I almost would make them pick one, because they seem exclusive to me. But I don't know how helpful it is, right? Because they're missing all the context.
They are. The fundamental reason, there's three fundamental reasons in the state of Washington an HOA exists. And one is presuming the financial value of the member's equity. Number one reason why an HOA exists. The second one is to create an organization that promulgates reasonable rules and methods for people to get along. And the third is to create an organization to manage. Those are the three rules for an HOA. And in number one, for it to protect the member's equity, sometimes it's, I'm sorry, we're gonna tear this building down and either you're not gonna get it, because it's not an eyesore, it's a liability, and we're either gonna replace it, but what are you gonna do? And you might not like the answer, but it's the reason that the board was given Wakiowa authority. Because members don't like spending money. So you answering 18 is a problem the way it's written. Because members are gonna say, don't spend my money.
So we cross that one out?
I don't know.
I think for now we cross it out
That's fine.
and then go to 19.
How supportive would you be of funding projects that clearly maintain assets? I love that one.
Good.
That's kind of, you know,
kinda
I like
like
that
that
one
one.
better than 18, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's,
20, I think, is wrong. If a major project were proposed, how should it be evaluated?
Select up the two.
That's just screwy.
I think that one's a bad one.
Out.
Bad question or bad layout?
It's a bad layout. I think you have to evaluate it many different ways. You have to look at it. And I think asking people who are never involved, have been involved in asset management guidance and evaluation, asking them to weigh in on it might give you some very skewed information. Without asking them, how aware are you of the current condition of your facilities?
And major project that's a very nebulous thing. You evaluate different things differently. So to say major project evaluation, well, what kind of major project? Do we want to chop all the trees down? How do we evaluate that? Do we want to have a senior center? How do we evaluate that?
There's no such thing as a cost analysis. There's cost benefit analysis on a tennis court that you're gonna let people use for free. It's not free. But that's supported by dues. Right? But there is no cost benefit analysis on that. There's a user analysis, but then that doesn't take into consideration people like me that say, I don't play tennis, but I'm glad it's there.
So let's eliminate that question. Everybody agree?
Yeah, get rid of 20. You like 21?
I don't like the beginning of the sentence, in one sentence.
Yeah, don't give us a paragraph.
Give us a paragraph.
No.
No.
How are you gonna read 3,000 answers?
No problem.
I have a job for you.
I'll do it.
No, we would do it with AI, but it's
Yeah.
still.
Where's that? I was looking for
That's
that.
what you get.
That's what you get.
Yeah, I'll get you. Sure.
That's what you get.
That's what you
Give that to
get.
Elizabeth.
We don't want
Can you-
that.
Can you pass it here? I'll give it to
Okay, let's all vote. Elizabeth,
Well,
Read the answers.
Yeah.
Don't just glance at them. It
It's
is too
hard
much.
to
I've seen it
quantify
before.
what they're talking about.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of times they're the same things.
Oh, some of those are.
And then some of them
pretty-
are
Oh,
Some of those are for
We're gonna have to get some
lots
from
of
each
things.
person, that'd be pretty tough.
It's too much. You can't evaluate it properly. I mean, you can throw it through AI, but in one sentence is important.
What's the most important thing Sudden Valley should focus on right now? I love that. I think it's a good question.
Yeah, I like the question. How about in one paragraph?
You want me to call a vote?
Okay, I'm out.
500 word essay.
Yeah.
And
All right.
Okay.
Number 22. Is there anything else you think, else you'd like the board or to, okay.
That's strange. My neighbor wears women's underwear.
Okay, now we're just going somewhere completely
just
wrong.
a-
But the size of you, I don't know too. How would, okay,
Right,
so,
what kind of seniors is she hanging out with?
I don't know.
Or if her neighbor's a female, it's okay.
Not necessarily.
Let's eliminate question 22 for now and come back to it
Yeah.
in a different survey.
Okay, demographics, that's,
I'm gonna suggest a really different approach to demographics, and you guys can criticize it when I bring it back.
I'd like to propose eliminating 25. I would like to have this focused on owners, not renters.
Yes,
So is 23 in?
23 and
She's
24 are out.
she's gonna redo demographics.
So you just wanna say, do you own?
We're gonna send to members
I wouldn't
who are
even
the
ask, it
owners.
should be only members.
It's only
We
going to
don't even
owners.
ask that question.
Yeah, they're the people that vote.
Yeah, we don't have to, yeah, there's no point, renters can't, they don't make a
Yeah,
difference.
so I think.
25 is out then?
Yeah,
25 is out.
25,000.
26 I think is good.
Yeah.
Full-time, part-time, seasonal. 27 looks like it's good. Anyone have any objections?
Do you like 24 then? I don't think we're talking about.
Oh,
No, we're not gonna,
I thought we
We're not
were
gonna
throwing
do that.
24 out.
So we're throwing 25.
No,
No.
yeah, 24.
24 we have already, because we'll attach the data.
yeah, so all that we don't need.
Okay.
So 25 is thrown out, 26 is good, 27 looks good, and so does 28.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any way you can, how are they gonna fill this out if there's more than,
They're gonna fill that.
One or
10,
three
they're gonna fill- put a
persons.
circle.
you know? Okay,
We're gonna have
say
a
you've got
paragraph at the bottom, a little box for.
a mother, a father, 3 kids, and a grandmother. How do you do that?
Just put a number in the household, it doesn't have
You
to.
pick out their ages.
Age range.
Age range, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
you
gonna
just
fix
fill
all of
them.
that. A lot of
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Joanne's, she's our expert.
Did that work out?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
whoever's in charge of the meeting, can I just share one piece of interesting information I learned today?
Okay.
I did analysis on our database, and it's possible that we have more than 600 properties in the association that are rented.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not surprised.
That's 22% of the total.
Which kind of explains some of the numbers on the voting as well, because renters can't. I mean, owners can vote, but they can't necessarily, they don't necessarily care.
We can't give their proxy to a vote.
Right, they don't vote, so it's all,
Yeah.
but what, I thought that was,
22%.
that's really important.
Yeah.
A really important and interesting piece of information.
Does that count the short-term rentals?
And
Or are those in addition?
the number it's 619, we have leases for about 100 of those. So those are long-term rentals. In that number that's left, 519, people who have summer homes or vacation homes here need to be taken out. And we're gonna do an outreach method to take them out of it, right? But even, let's say 100 of the 500, that's still approaching 20%.
What was the FH, do you remember what the FHA percentage was for condo associations? I don't think it applied to HOA, but for condos, where they wouldn't loan after you exceed a percent, I thought it was 30% of renters of the units.
I don't remember, I remember that that's a clause, but I don't remember
There's
the
a clause in there, it's
percentage.
interesting, I thought it was 30.
We're getting there.
We're at 22, that's a
How do
very
we
interesting number.
determine whether a house is rented? How does the HOA determine whether a house is rented or an owner lives there?
I thought about that for a long time, and then the answer was very simple. Our database is linked to an address inside the valley. You know, X number Windward Drive, X number Stable Lane, right? And then we have an address for where we mail the owner. Duh. When they're different, the owner doesn't live in their property. So that's our first list, that's our 619.
So you have 2 things going out to like 2 different,
No, we're not talking to renters, we're talking to members
right?
who may not live at their properties.
Right.
And asking them to say, do you rent your property? Because if you do, here's what you have to comply with. You know, if you use your property in Sun Valley as a summer residence or a vacation home, that's fine, just let us know that.
So you're saying
Anytime there's a mismatch.
they've listed their mailing address different than their home. That's the starting point. That doesn't mean they're renting it out.
Except that all the renters that we know about, I mean, it's about 100 of them, have given us notice that they're renting their property. All of those renters appeared on that list. So it's a reasonable methodology. Like I said, the known exception to that is people who have a vacation home and have
Right.
are full-time residents elsewhere. And you can kind of impute that a little bit by looking at the addresses.
Right.
There's also a set of people who have PO boxes. So if you have a PO box in Bellingham, it might just mean that you hate stopping at the mailboxes, right? So we split it out into segments, and we're gonna be doing different follow-ups to all of those. But it was such a large number, and it impacts almost everything that this committee would think about. I wanted to share it with you.
It's a big number.
It's a very big
It
number.
is much bigger than I thought, though. My next door neighbor is only there about 2 months out of the year, and the house sits empty the rest of the time, and my neighbor across the street only uses a PO box in town. So, yeah,
You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
1 in 5. 1 in 5.
Yeah, we have a number of neighbors around our place too that, you know, our vacation, their second home or whatever, and their place generally stays empty.
I know, it's kind of weird,
Right,
isn't it?
so they're not rented,
Right. So we have to take those out
right?
of the number. The number will drop, but at its highest, it's 22. And I could have missed, you know, we can maybe have missed something.
Well, there's an error factor, okay.
You're right, but you know,
But
we don't
it's a
know.
startling number.
So
It is
people are
true.
buying places in Sudden Valley as investment properties and renting them out.
And when you think about it, it makes sense because you can get a cheaper property, dollar for, you know, dollar per square foot here than in many other places in Bellingham. So if you're just getting into the game, that might be a place where you'd look.
It says that we are a good investment.
That's another thing that's, yeah.
That's what we
And
are.
that we have to be aware of that,
That's
right?
right.
Fascinating.
I have another question going back to old business. Do we have an update on where we're at with Barn 6 permit and what we're doing?
Yes.
Oh, do we know what we're doing there yet?
I know where we're at, and I know that there are still many decisions to be made. A pre-permit application was submitted, and the concept was reviewed, and the county did not raise any major objections to the proposal.
I did not think they would.
So how can we get a look at what the proposal is?
It's on the agenda for, I've forgotten if it's the next meeting or the first meeting in February.
Okay, cool.
So-
I actually think it's on the next meeting.
I think we're getting, Welcome County said they would be sending a written summary of what they said in that meeting.
Right, but that's.
So we
that's
should
where
have that for them.
Are you sure? I mean,
Are we,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I'm just thinking of someone that was a former director that was jumping up and down, screaming that we were 50% of it was within the creek. No. All right, so.
Let's
no-
not go there.
Yeah, all right, so no real comment. So the last version was not the most downscoped one, but it was close.
Correct.
So is that version going to the board for discussion?
Sounds like it is in February, right?
Yeah, the idea is, it's actually on the 22nd, so it's on the meeting, on the
Next week.
22nd, I guess that's next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and important to know that there is no money budgeted for Barn 6.
That is not a completely correct statement.
There is no line item in the capital budget for Barn 6. There's
So-
money in there for Barn 8 repairs.
Joel, I don't know why we allowed him to do this. I asked him, he kept saying, well, the money for 6 is in the Barn 8 repair package. And he kept explaining why he did it. And the board allowed him to do it. They should have changed the name on it. And
Yeah.
he had that money in there for 6 and calling it the Barn 8. It should have been Barn 6.
Well, you can't budget a range, you have to have a number. And there were no numbers available for Barn 6 because we hadn't had an engineering estimate for the proposed project. So there were back of the envelopes, and if you depends on how you ask him the question. If you ask, is money budgeted for Barn 6? The answer is no. there's no money budgeted for barn 6. However, if the board wants to divert funds that have been budgeted for barn 8, for which we have an actual estimate, they may do so.
The estimate for barn 8 is even more subjective than 6.
Potentially, but someone put a number on a piece of paper.
Let me tell you, that number is probably far more, order of magnitude more, because we've never even scoped out what the membership wants in barn 8. That's what I think one of our first survey questions should be. What should we do with this building?
I thought we were talking about refurbing it, right?
It does, we have
Destroy
old
it.
engineering reports, that you're 9 years old, Mitch,
What's that?
the engineering report we have is of 9 years old, that says it's gonna cost more to fix this place.
It'll cost more to refurbish this building than it would cost to tear it down and put a new one up.
Yeah.
All right, we got that in 17,
Okay.
2017.
Yeah, for 9 years.
And then, in 25, we got the estimate for 3.5, or 3.2 or 3.5 million in structural damage to the
No,
building?
it's not damage.
Or
It's-
structural requirements for the building.
They're not even requirements. It is those are recommendations to address the issues that have been identified that affect the usability of this building in its current use.
Okay, let me shorten
That's a
that.
very different thing.
Let me shorten
I
that
agree.
down to
That's
structural
well said.
deficiencies for its use.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so the building has $3.2 to $3.5 million in structural deficiencies for the building's purpose and use.
Correct.
All right, which means its long-term viability, it doesn't have fire sprinklers. We talked about the electrical system being a patchwork, and it's a rabbit warren of rooms, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, no, come on, yeah, obvious.
We're on that one, right?
Yeah.
We're, okay. So, we don't have a full-on community, give us what do you want this building to be when it grows up? If we rebuild barn 6, I want to say when we rebuild, but all right, barn 6, big open gymnasium, a couple of rooms, a couple of bathrooms, and the capability since power and utilities are stubbed out everywhere.
So is that what we're doing over there? I wasn't sure, because there's.
Yeah.
I thought we were putting a kitchen
That's up to
as well.
the-
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in there. There's
Yeah.
a kitchen in there, there's other things in there. So,
Oh, I think that would make the most sense.
all right, so if we do anything with this building, we would have to take the gym out of here and put this building, if you just did the structural work on me, and I know I'll be corrected, but if you just did the structural work, you'd shut this building down for over a year, all right? You
Well,
couldn't use it.
it could be done in a phased manner, but
The gym.
we would lose the fitness center for sure,
Okay, so there you go.
for a
So-
period of time, yeah.
So we'd have to put the fitness center
Over there.
over there. Okay, so let's just say that we have this big open gymnasium thing, and there's gonna be power laid out in lots of places. All right, so now we put the fitness center over there. We do what we're gonna do here. Are we moving the fitness center back? We do know that we're gonna have a pool.
Mechanicals are in this building.
So the bathrooms,
Yeah.
the pump room, the electrical room can be refurbished. I think we agreed on this.
Yeah.
Those can be
So it'd be
refurbished.
essentially,
They're on that corner of
Yeah.
the building, we could probably get them so they can stay functioning. Maybe the bathrooms, we have to bring in a trailer.
yeah.
So, but what is this building gonna be when it grows up? And I think we owe the community a survey.
No, I 100% agree. I think obviously better meeting spaces would be ideal. Well, that's the,
And it-
Probably without a
senior
giant
space.
column in the middle, yeah.
yeah, that's not helpful.
It would be nice to have a place that you could have seminars and speakers and things that would raise money. I mean,
Maybe, yeah. I
you
don't
know, I can't put a speaker in that little building, that little room behind the library,
No, I agree.
because
Yeah.
you can't ask a speaker to come out and, you know, give me your $500 talk, and we'll have 3 people there.
So let's suppose that we have this big gymnasium in Barn 6, right? So we could use that for our annual meeting.
Yeah.
All right, we could use that for speakers, we could use that for indoor rec throughout the winter. What we had talked about, roll up doors, so the summertime and springtime, roll up the doors, fresh air.
It's still gonna be a heated, the,
Indoor heated,
yeah, okay, still gonna have heat.
but in theory. So, all right, so if that's what that is, principally it would be big gymnasium. Do we need upstairs?
Probably not.
Here or
Yeah,
over there?
over here. Do we need that?
Well, is that something we're dealing with right now? Like, is that?
No, I mean, we can't really do
I think
anything until we know
we have
what
to
the
know what we're
six.
doing there, then
Can't
we
make
can
decisions
talk
here.
about
Creating a
what to do here.
big room over there
Mhm.
with some offices and rec offices and storeroom, volleyball, basketball, blah, blah, blah.
So
Once
you're
that's
center-
decided though, then
Then you look at this.
it's not a topic of discussion for tonight. I know you like to
No.
keep things short.
No, I don't, it's good though, you know, I mean,
If it's
It's
coming
good
up for
discussion.
discussion,
Yeah,
we all voted
right.
on what we wanted, and I don't know if that's what's being presented to the board.
Right now, it's just Farm 6 that we presented to.
But that's what we,
Right, and the board-
we as a long-range planning committee voted on criteria to say, please, Ray,
Right.
take this to the board. Is that what's going to the board?
Not exactly
Yeah.
as was presented, but I have to look at what will be presented. I don't have the exact.
Okay. I think it would be fair
It
to
would be
tell us
pared down.
before the board meeting, what the board is being presented, so we have an idea, and we conceptualized it.
So, I mean, we can,
I think at the end of the
I don't
day,
even
we're
know
looking at a
exactly what's
scaled
being-
down version
Yeah.
of what was presented,
Okay.
based on the budget.
what's the scale down version?
Is that right?
yeah,
3.2.
so,
Well,
I mean,
It was 3.2 with the kitchen and everything else. I think the president convinced me, no generator.
no generator at this time that
We
I've
can
heard. But
always
again,
do that
I don't know
later.
all the details, and you know, once we have them, we can, you know, but we
But it's
don't
going
even
to
have
the
it.
board.
I haven't seen it.
So the county is saying, the bottom line is, the county is saying, we're not gonna have a problem with you building a building there.
For the most part, there's
All right.
a couple little things,
Couple of,
nothing's terribly insurmountable.
so I look forward to hearing what the board has to say.
Well, you should come to the meeting,
What's that?
come to the meeting.
The 22nd. Oh, I'll be available.
I'll be on Zoom.
Do we have to have,
Oh, that's right, you're,
if the board says, you know, looks at the thing and says yes on Farm 6,
Mhm.
is that it? And we can haul the contractor in and start plowing?
Well, no,
A
permits.
full set of
permits.
plans has not been produced,
Okay, so we
It was- so
gotta get a
we-
full set of plans,
and then we would need to submit for a permit.
permit,
And then we would need to plan out the project, we'd need to get estimates from builders as we get closer to the permit coming back, and then once we have the permit, the contract can be awarded.
you think this is a good design build?
I'd like to call your attention to some numbers that are very important to know.
Okay.
A $4 million loan
Okay.
is what's currently budgeted. We currently pay on the current SURF loan that was used to refinance the existing SURF loan and to purchase the Welcome Center. We are already paying $300,000 or more, to be precise, in 2026. We will pay $333,000 on that loan, and we will continue to pay until 2030 on that loan.
2030.
It would have been so nice if they had not canceled the $1 million transfer fee and given it away.
then
Right. Yeah, and in the first year, this year, of a $4 million loan, we're thinking that it won't happen until the second half of the year, so we're only budgeting $173,000 to go towards payments. But in 2027, the full amount would be due annually, and that's $435,600 every year. So our total loan repayment burden would be $768,000 every year.
Yeah.
For.
Right. For SURF, right?
Till 30.
The second loan goes out to past 2035.
What's the second loan for?
Welcome Center.
The original SURF loan was combined with the extra cost of the Welcome Center. We pay $333,000 annually, and that will end in 2030.
That's one loan.
That's one loan.
What's the second loan?
It's for $4 million, And the idea was that funding.
Oh, that's the one that we
okay.
haven't yet done.
Yeah.
We haven't done that loan yet. I think it's folly to do that, to commit so much to repayment when
Yeah.
we don't have reserves.
So one of the questions to ask Joanne, that we're talking about in the survey, is you have a facility that is, members, we have a facility that is failing. It hasn't failed, but it's failing. And it has enough deficiencies to use that you can't use it for its purpose, and it's only gonna get worse. Are you willing to go ahead and increase your dues to go into SURF to pay for a new building?
Yeah.
That's the question. I agree that it's folly to keep
Well,
not growing the SURF account.
there's another option, like we discussed, there might be a potential to save on some security, you know.
To what?
Looking at whether, are we getting $300,000 worth of value out of security?
Oh, well, it's in your covenants that you have to have.
We'd have to look at changing that,
Change a covenant, yeah.
So
which is not easy.
the building, if we look at the building, the extra burden is 700,000 per year, correct? Is that the right number? For the four?
So the two loans in combination. So the burden for just the building is $435,000.
What's this, the other loan is already existing? Right. Okay, so the additional burden is 400,000.
$435,000.
435. So the question to the community, 435,000 divided by 3,000 is $145 per year per household.
Per month, per household.
No,
Just per
household per year.
Oh, okay.
So
Would you like to have building 6?
Yeah,
Would you like to have building 6? Here's the layout at a cost of $4 million, and the cost to you is $135 a year.
right. We had played with that. Are you willing to pay $13 a month to have a brand new barn 8?
Right.
That's, when you put it to a member like that, it's like, well, what are you gonna give me in barn 8?
Right,
Well, here's the survey.
Here's the building, here's what it looks like.
I think that they would be willing to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I think-
so the loan amount in the budget is $4 million. And a portion of that could be used to build barn 6.
Right.
But that's not a new barn 8, that's just barn 6.
Right.
It gets us out of barn 8 except
Right.
for the pool functions,
So
right?
it's one step at a time.
One step at a time.
Right.
But if the board decides to support the building of a new building or replacement of the ice barn, they are essentially committing us to either further borrowing to do something with barn 8 or a special assessment for barn 8. So that's the real problem, is that this current loan just gets us barn 6, doesn't do anything about this building.
Okay. I'd like to propose 2 things to the directors. Would you guys seriously really have a discussion about correctly naming that item in the line that Joel created, saying barn 8? Because barn 8 was in the domino number 2, and the first thing we have to address is barn 6.
Right.
All right? And he explained it to me ad nauseum, and I walked out of there with my head spinning, saying it still doesn't make any sense.
Well, maybe he thought he was gonna do both at the same time or something.
No, the plain fact of the matter is he got no direction from the then general manager as to how the budget should be built.
I'd agree with
We're done. I mean, that's the
General manager
answer.
then had no concept of what he was doing. No matter how much you talk to him.
I mean, he dealt with numbers he actually had, that the board had actually discussed and had presented to them, and he got as much money as he could fit with remaining within the 7% increase. And remember that all of that had to go into operations because of trees.
The bond cycling. But nonetheless, it should be called barn 6, because that's the first project.
Right. Well, I hope we can call something else besides barns when it's done.
Well, whatever you want to call it, but it shouldn't be called
Yeah,
barn
no,
6.
I follow, yeah, I get it.
we'll call it the gathering place.
Yeah,
The Elizabeth Huthert Memorial Facility.
Thanks. You trying to kill her off?
These seniors are going to sue Sudden Valley if they don't get a senior center.
Well, you know there's another option for a senior center.
Yeah,
Tell the library to take a hike.
You know, you're not going to make friends.
we
on
want the
this.
library too.
Invite the library to take up a long-term lease with the association for no money at all to build a new facility on the Rotunda site.
Yeah.
How are you gonna pay for it?
They're gonna pay for it.
They
They
don't,
paid for the new library in Blaine.
I'd like to not
They-
have this discussion, it's not on our agenda. and I don't
Yeah,
think we
okay.
can take this anymore.
the county as a generally does not pay for the library
Unproductive
buildings.
meeting.
The Friends have to pay for it.
I would move that we adjourn this meeting at 8:18 PM. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give you a code.